First, thank you very much for inviting us to introduce this exhibition titled Texture Stories, the Chirimen Books of Modern Japan. I'm Haruko Nakamura, the librarian for Japanese study at the Yale University Library.
I'm Yoshitaka Yamamoto, assistant professor of East Asian languages and literatures at Yale.
We are the co-curators of the exhibition on Chirimen books, currently on view at the Beinecke. The exhibition will run until May 3rd of next year, and we hope many of you will be able to visit if you haven't already. Chirimen-bon, or crêpe-paper books, were a type of Japanese illustrated book produced between the 1880s and the 1950s and made with textured fabric-like paper. They came into existence alongside a textbook for Japanese learners of Western languages and often served as a souvenirs for Western visitors to Japan. They covered a wide range of Japanese-related topics, fairy tales, folklore, cultural tradition, holidays, festivals, performing arts, and scenes from everyday life in English, French, German, Swedish, Russian, and other languages. Despite their unassuming appearance, chirimen books served as a critical medium for disseminating knowledge during a tumultuous moment as Japan, after more than 2 centuries of limited contact with the West, was rushing toward Westernization while also striving to establish a unique national identity. So this exhibition introduced the history of chirimen books, their production and distribution, the stories they tell, the novel forms of international collaboration that brought them into being, and their enduring legacy, while also showing how they drew upon long-standing traditions from Japan and East Asia more broadly. Transforming Japanese paper into chirimen paper involves a special process after woodblock printing the illustrations and typesetting the letters. NHK, Japan's National Public Broadcasting Organization, aired a documentary program on chirimen books in March of this year, recreating the process of making chirimen paper, which we show here. And I need to get out the
これは活版印刷まで終わった第2段階の桃太郎。まだ紙の表面は平らです。これをどのようにすればしわくちゃ、つまりちりめん織物のような凹凸がつくのでしょうか。
まずは絵とストーリーが印刷された和紙を湿らせます。
硬いとね、型が入らないんですよ。揉んだ感じを残そうと思うと、湿らせて揉んでから乾かさないといけないんです。そうすると型がしっかり残る。
型とは、この茶色の紙のこと。ちりめん状の紙を作るには欠かせない道具の一つです。広げた型に和紙をまずは1枚横向きに置きます。
間に挟んでいく感じですね。でこの棒に巻いていきます。
あ、 うどんみたい。ここで何やら大きな道具が運ばれてきましたよ。
これは万力といって、これでちりめん加工をするんです。先ほどの巻き終わったものをこの機械に挟み込みます。そして、てこの原理を使って体重をかけることで、巻いた紙が押しつぶされるという仕組みなんです。
こうやってちりめん状に加工するんですね。確かに紙の一方向に細かいシワが寄っているのが、まあ分かるっちゃ分かる。
実はこれ、型自体にもともと細かいシワがつけられているからなんです。今度は先ほどと向きを変えて縦方向に紙を挟み込みます。
これで縦横。これ縦一回です。
今度は縦と横にシワができました。
できるだけ生地のちりめんに近いような状態。イメージ的に。縦横だけだと、さほどちりめんに近い状態じゃないんで、斜めを入れることによって、生地の雰囲気を出してくるというイメージですね。
きれいに斜めにシワが寄ってます。
これを繰り返すことで、見事ちりめん状になりました。
綺麗に上がってますよ、やっぱり。めちゃくちゃ綺麗に上がってる。何ができてるかできてないかで見るとね、立体感出てるか出てないか、絞り止めがある程度揃ってるかの、その辺がメインですね。
紙をちりめん状に圧縮したため、元の大きさに比べて 20% ほど縮みました。
確かに絵に立体感や質感がよく出てますね。それに着物などの色も全体的に色が濃くなるんですね。こうした効果も計算して竹一郎は制作したんでしょうかね。
Thank you for watching. So when visiting the exhibition, please stop by the security desk on the first floor of Beinecke, where you can hold and feel samples of chirimen paper. We hope you can imagine the sensation of how the books made of chirimen paper wrap around your hands like cloth when you hold them. However, please also note that the texture and the feels of chirimen paper may vary depending on many factors, such as the number of pressing and crumplings with the tool, as well as time of washi, Japanese paper production, and the origin of materials used for washi. And these samples were recently created and feel a little stiffer compared to these made more than a century ago. Additionally, the paper of older books may change in softness over time, depending on storage condition, moisture level, etc. So we invite you to explore more about washi and paper in general. This exhibition is roughly divided into two thematic sections, beginning with international collaboration, which sheds light on the fact that crêpe-paper books were products of international collaborations between Japanese and Western publishing houses, and the Western translator writers and Japanese illustrators, woodblock cutters, and printers. Translators of Japanese fairy tales include remarkable women from outside of Japan, missionaries, foreign government advisors, and pioneering Japanologists working with prominent Japanese illustrators. Starting with an introduction to a key publisher and international connections, this section also highlights chirimen books as a physical object, outlining the bookmaking process and the role of woodblock cutters and printers. It also covers the technique of creating crêpe-paper and the merging of traditional Japanese and Western printing technique, including collotype for printing photographs in chirimen books. This section of each item, along with the creators, aims to emphasize the complexity of chirimen books, showcasing the interpersonal networks that helped shape global views of Japan at that time. The second part of the exhibition, earlier traditions of bookmaking and printmaking, will highlight the ways in which chirimen books, despite their nobility, drew upon long-standing Japanese and East Asian tradition of printing and bookmaking. We hope that situating chirimen books in such a historical context will further advance the understanding of the global history of the book, especially since the advent of printing in East Asia predates that in Europe by many centuries. Also, this will be a great opportunity to showcase the depth and the breadth of Yale's collection of Japanese materials. As you explore the exhibit, you will see that chirimen books have the potential to reenact their roles as educational materials on a wide range of topics in Japan, extending beyond art and language. By reinstating these books as educational materials, we hope that researchers, students, and anyone unfamiliar with Japan will gain a deeper understanding of the country. Here in the United States, where the concept of diversity has become more complex and it's being re-evaluated, we hope this exhibition of Japanese books will open even more opportunities in this country to consider the potential impact of showcasing the cultural heritage of more countries around the world. Every item in the exhibition offers insights into Japanese books from global perspectives. For example, as with the translation of Japanese fairy tales, much of the content of chirimen books was collaboratively produced by international creators. And this chirimen books is titled Karma by a famous religious scholar, Paul Karras, with illustrations by well-known and highly regarded artist Suzuki Kasun. Later, this book was translated by another famous religious scholar, T.D. Suzuki, into Japanese. D.T. Suzuki also reused Suzuki Kasun's illustration in publication. In addition, some scholars have noted that Karma was later adapted into a very famous author, Akutagawa Ryunosuke, his famous spider thread. However, I recently discovered a book with a title that resembles T.D. Suzuki's translation of Karma called Otogibanashi Inga no Oguruma. And this book was published in 1895, which is the same year as the first edition of Karma by Paul Karras and predates D.T. Suzuki's translated version, Inga no Oguruma, requiring further reading of scholarship to figure out if there is any relationship among those books and Akutagawa's Spider's Thread. Japan has a long and vital tradition of telling stories with combination of text and images in books, making the role of illustrators crucial. Sometimes they illustrated Western story in a traditional Japanese visual style to remarkable effect. Being exposed to Western stories and arts allowed them to cultivate their own idea about the direction Japanese art could take. Jean-Pierre Caris de Florian, Pierre Barbuto edited this collection of French fables by French writer Jean-Pierre Caris de Florian. This luxury book is unique because while all the stories are in French, the color woodblock illustrations by famous painters such as Kano Tomonobu are in Japanese style, depicting things like Japanese landscape, fishermen, and castle, as you see here. This book exemplifies a sophisticated blend of Eastern and Western features housed in traditional East Asian wraparound case. It also comes with 10 photo prints of ceremonies in Annam, present-day Vietnam, in an envelope made of crêpe-paper. The initial, the oversized decorative letter at the beginning of each chapter imitates those found in European medieval illuminated manuscripts, which were in turn emulated in early printed European books. Starting in the mid-19th century, the Western art and crafts movement revitalized the practice of large decorated initials as a part of its anti-industrialist embrace of traditional craft production. Yet this book's target audience and details about the life of this author are still unknown.
So now I'm going to highlight a few things about the second part of our exhibition on earlier traditions. Chirimen books drew upon long-standing Japanese and East Asian traditions of bookmaking. Printing is certainly important in the history of East Asian books, but manuscripts are too. In 14th to 19th century Japan, illustrated hand scrolls played a crucial role in disseminating the story of the monsters or the ogres of Oeyama. The Beinecke copy, shown on the left here, consisting of 4 volumes, was produced in the early 19th century as a rough copy with illustrations colored in only halfway, possibly as reference material for an artist belonging to the Kano school of paintings. The illustration shows the decapitated head of the ogre Shitendoji, Little Drunkard, attacking the warrior hero Minamoto no Raiko. The exact same scene appears in The Ogres of Oeyama, shown on the right, a chirimen book translated by Kate James, known as Mrs. T.H. James, and published as part of the Japanese fairy tale series. Next slide, please. Illustrated manuscripts also form part of a body of pre-modern Japanese works that chirimen books drew upon. This luxuriously crafted manuscript of Taketori Monogatari on the left, made with thick, high-quality paper, gold leaf decorations, colorful hand-painted illustrations, and flowing handwriting, may have been made for a woman from a well-to-do family, possibly as part of her wedding trousseau. The chirimen book on the right, Princess Splendor, tells the same story as the illustrated manuscript, but the imagery shows some variation. Next slide, please. The technique of color woodblock printing originated in China and spread to Japan, where it enabled the production of colorful prints and books, including ukiyo-e prints and, of course, chirimen books. The technique was used for producing this copy on the left of 10 Bamboo Studio Manual of Calligraphy and Painting, which is likely a Japanese reprint of a Chinese original, judging by the specific qualities of the paper, although I'm still in the process of determining if this copy is really a Japanese edition or not. Bird and flower paintings are integral to the East Asian artistic tradition. One appears in a chirimen book shown on the right about a Japanese woman named Oyucha-san. This points to the enduring importance of pre-modern East Asian painting and woodblock traditions in chirimen books. Next slide, please. Chirimen books spun out of a lively commercial publishing culture in 19th century Japan. Chirimen books evolved partly from popular woodblock printed graphic narratives known as kusazoshi, or grass booklets, in which illustrations take center stage as the vehicle for storytelling, and supplementary text wraps around the illustrations. The 18th century kusazoshi on the left recounts the tale of the heroic Soga brothers who avenged their father's wrongful death. The book on the far right, made with plain paper and published alongside chirimen paper copies, tells the story of a warrior who vanquishes a giant centipede, with dynamic illustrations and text wrapped around those illustrations. The center image shows a hugely popular work of serialized kusazoshi known as gokan, or multi-volume booklets that flaunt colorful woodblock printed covers. Next slide, please. Our exhibition ends by looking toward the present and the future. It is no coincidence that supernatural beings populate manga and anime just as they do chirimen books, whether they are the half-bodied ghost in Lafcadio Hearn's chirimen book, The Goblin Spider, shown on the right, supernatural creatures in Gegege no Kitaro, shown in the bottom center image, or kaonashi in the Studio Ghibli animated film Spirited Away, shown top center. Japanese manga and anime are certainly directly influenced by Western comic strips and animation, but they also take inspiration from Japanese traditions of visual storytelling and bookmaking. Just like chirimen books in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Japanese manga and anime today invite international audiences to learn about Japan, while also allowing them to feel and enjoy the ever-thickening tapestry of connections among past, present, and future artists, writers, translators, and viewers. Situating chirimen books in a larger historical context in this way allows us not only to gain a better understanding of the Japanese, East Asian, and global history of the book and about the power of visual storytelling, but also to learn about the depth and breadth of Yale's collections of pre-modern Japanese and East Asian materials. I'd like to add that I make use of Yale's pre-modern Japanese texts in my own research and teaching, and I sincerely believe that working with authentic historical materials makes humanities research exciting, innovative, and also solid in the sense of being backed by historical evidence. I'm extremely grateful to have access to these materials at Yale. Next slide, please. In conjunction with the exhibition, Haruko and I have been organizing several public events. Thanks to the sponsorship of the Council of East Asian Studies, we successfully hosted a lecture titled Viewing Japanese Ehon Picture Books Across Boundaries, Seeing Reading East-West by Professor Chelsea Foxwell, Director of the Center for East Asian Studies at the University of Chicago, on September 26th. This lecture was the first event of a two-event series, Insight into Meiji Japanese Art, Books, and Prints. For the second event, we will have a woodblock printmaking demonstration by the artist Keiji Shinohara on Wednesday, October 8th. If you're interested, Haruko has, I believe, posted. Oh, she will
I will
post
do
the
it.
link
Sorry.
to the event information in the chat. Please note that the registration for this event will close today. Haruko and I have also plans to present other aspects of the exhibition later in the academic year as part of the Monday at Beinecke series. We hope you can join us then as well. Additionally, although not yet confirmed, we hope to organize a film screening of Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away, and also a Japanese bookbinding workshop in the spring semester. Next slide, please. This exhibition could not have been possible without the work and expertise of so many wonderful colleagues. We strove to list all of the individuals who contributed to our exhibition in so many important ways, and even now we're still learning about all the dedicated work by so many of our colleagues. We thank everyone from the bottom of our hearts, and we also thank all of you who have joined us today for our presentation this afternoon. We hope you will visit and enjoy the exhibition. Thank you. And I think we have an extra slide at the end,
Sorry.
just to thank everyone. So thank you again.